Salam alaikum, shalom, grüß Gott, bonjour, and welcome to this video. In this one, I will talk about the sound of three different amps. On the left, the ROKSAN Caspian or Caspian M Series 1. In the middle, the Arcam Solo Music Mark II. And on the right, the SMSL A1. Here you can see the size differences and the remotes. I will not talk about the Note 2i in this video. Now, I will talk about the sound differences. This is it. So this video is or should be all about the sound. I listened to these amps using the Elac Carina, a 86 dB sensitivity speaker with an AMT, and on the left the Tannoy Revolution XT6F, that's a 90 dB speaker. The Elac Carina sounds more natural, and this sounds more open and has more bass. And I think both speakers are quite different. This has some kind of a horn tweeter. Now, and it's a concentric design, so the tweeter sits in the middle of the mid-range driver. Now, I will start with the ROKSAN. It is the most lean sounding amp. And what do I mean with lean? The other amps have more meat on the bone. That's a term I hear often. Now, the advantage of this ROKSAN is that it is incredibly controlled at louder volumes. So controlled that I looked to my wife and said, "This sounds perfect, even if it is too loud." It was too loud for our room, but with other amps, it didn't sound that good at louder volumes. But the fact is, we listen to music at low to mid volumes. That's the tier when this ROKSAN doesn't show its advantages sonically. Yeah, when it comes to build quality, this has the best volume knob. It's really good implemented into the body. The Arcam has a very good build quality too, but the volume knob, as I said in my other video, the volume knob is strange, but okay. Shouldn't bother anyone. Now, comparing these two at lower volumes, you can get a bite of Class A magic from the Arcam Solo Music. That's because the first few watts, maybe the first 15 or so, are in Class A, and after that it switches automatically into Class AB. And that Class AB, in my opinion, at louder volumes doesn't sound as controlled, as high fidelity like the ROKSAN Caspian does. It still sounds a bit fuller, but the Arcam still sounds a bit fuller. But if I would only listen at louder volumes, then I would choose the ROKSAN. Between these two amps, I, for my use case, choose the Arcam. But like I said, and with both speakers, so that's important. important to mention. And both sound very close to each other when it comes to the soundstage and the width and the depth and the instrument separation. At louder volumes, the ROKSAN separates all the elements on the soundstage with more ease than the Arcam. The Arcam, though, sounds a bit more fuller. I guess that's due to a slight bump in the upper bass or lower mid region. I guess, I don't know that, but that's something a lot of amp designers do or speaker designers do to make it more full sounding, more even a bit warmer sounding. Yeah, if you have any questions to this comparison, please ask me in the comments below. I answer within a few minutes or hours. And now I would like to talk about the Arcam. This is my favorite amp in a few regards. It made a very difficult to drive speaker sound amazing, and that was the Focal Aria 906. I tried a lot of amps, and this one was the only one to really make that speaker come alive. And what I liked about it is that it sounds natural at low volumes. At low volumes, it really makes the speaker sound so effortlessly full and alive. Yeah. Also, I guess I have recorded a few videos to this amp that says high-end sound, low-end app, because the app doesn't do what I want it to do. But the sound is amazing, especially using the built-in CD drive. Playing back a CD sounds really so much better than connecting a streamer, even if I use the built-in DAC of the Arcam. So I don't get it, because I listened to Tidal and they claim they have CD quality, and then I listened to the same song using a CD in this amp, and I guess both use the same DAC. They should do use the same DAC. I guess there is just one DAC built in, not one for the digital input and one for the CD. No, it's one DAC, and the CD sounds so better, so obviously better. Okay, now I raved about that this amp in other videos. One thing that I don't like is it is so deep. So it is too deep for our sideboard, and we have the standard IKEA Besta sideboard. And now let's come to the star of the show, because these two amps cost, or did cost when they were new, did cost 2,000 euros or dollars. But this tiny little sunshine, which maybe fits, yeah, maybe 8 times into the Arcam. This is only an integrated amp, but it sounds so gorgeous. And when I say gorgeous, I mean with my Tannoys on the right, there was always a natural tone missing. The Tannoys sound amazing. They sound so open, so dynamic. It is so much fun to listen to everything through these speakers. But I always wanted them to sound a bit more natural. When I say more natural, I mean when there are wooden instruments, drums, piano, guitars, and so on and so on. So all the kind of, no matter of wooden or metallic, I wanted these speakers to sound more natural. I didn't want them to sound too much like a speaker. I wanted them to sound like they are the thing they are playing back. And with this tiny amp, I did get this pure Class A magic, and I didn't expect that because it is so tiny. It costs only 600 euros or dollars. And it is even an integrated amplifier with, unfortunately, only one analog input. But I talked about this amp in my other video. Now, I was surprised, and this Elac Carina already sounds natural, and this did bring it to a higher tier. Now, if your speaker is already very natural sounding, I would recommend the Arcam if you listen at lower or mid volumes, and I would recommend the ROKSAN if you want to listen at high volumes. The ROKSAN is really, it's crazy how perfectly it controls the woofers. And I felt like I don't even need something like Dirac or something with this ROKSAN. I guess it is due to its high damping factor. Maybe I'm right. I'm wrong. I don't know why, but I'm just guessing. At high volume, the ROKSAN Caspian M Series 1 is really crazy. It's very good. So now with the Elac Carina, I would go with the SMSL A1 or the Arcam, but with a speaker like this Tannoy, or for example a Klipsch RP600M, I would go with this beast of tone. This is just, you know, why I rave about it is so cheap for a pure Class A amp. And this is not only an loudspeaker amp, you can also use it as a headphone amp. But I'm sorry, I didn't test it. I'm not a headphone guy. I'm not into that hobby, even though I love listening to music over headphones, but I don't do it at home. I often listen to music via loudspeakers. Now, if you want the extra natural, organic tone, then this is it. This is it. At low volumes, the Arcam is great too. It is really great at low volumes and also at mid volumes. But this is even more natural sounding, the S.M.S.L A1. Now, let me see if I can say more about my experiences with these three amps, because I don't want to stress it even more. I guess this is it. Yep. Maybe you want to know if the both Class A amps, the Arcam is called Class G, but I call it Class A because I'm always using it at low to mid volumes. They don't really get that hot. The Class A, the pure Class A one, gets the hottest. It has a very tiny chassis. That's maybe the reason why it gets hotter than the other one, but it is still absolutely okay. There is no reason to call that a problem, in my opinion. There is no reason to call that a problem. If your child would touch it, it wouldn't hurt. It is not warm enough to hurt someone. Not at all, whatsoever. So forget, in my opinion, forget about this class A amps get too warm, or the power consumption too is not, in my opinion, is not high enough to mention it as a problem. It is not high enough. So it is a I guess this one, the Caspian, is 2 times 50 watts into 8 ohms. This is 2 times 80 watts into 8 ohms, and this is 2 times 10 watts into 8 ohms. And let me tell you one thing, you don't hear a power difference at all. And even more so, at low and mid volumes, this tiny little thing sounds more powerful, and really obviously more powerful, than the ROKSAN does. So that's my experience using 2 really different speakers. Not only sensitivity wise, even the construction is different. The one has an aluminium woofer, the Elac Carina. The Tannoys have a paper compound something driver woofer. And that is it. If I have forgotten anything or something, please write it down. I will answer within a few minutes or hours. Sometimes even in a few seconds, but that is a coincidence. Yeah, that is it. I need a streamer for all of them, because the streamer built in to the Arcam doesn't do it for me. I like the sound of Tidal. I like the sound of Cobus, but I love using Spotify, and I'm looking for Spotify to finally release their high-res, or how is it called, Spotify Hi-Fi version. And I can't stand the search engine problems in Tidal. I know the album, the song is in, and I look for the song, I can't find it, then I have to go into the album and find it there. So it's Tidal's not for me. And Cobus is a bit better in that regard, but yeah, I will stick to Spotify. That is it. As I always say, if you have the chance, listen for yourself. Don't judge gear by its review, not even by mine. Even not by mine, I guess that's the right order. So, have a nice day or night, and bye-bye.